Yoga adjustments are a very sensitive topic. When we talk about classical yoga, there's not really mention of adjusting people in the classical sense. Classical yoga is something that you kind of do on your own, first of all. You may have a teacher and they may kind of give you instructions on where you should put your body. And there may be some time where they have to adjust you, but a good teacher can always verbally give the best cue so that there's no need to actually physically touch someone. Actually, whenever you touch someone, your energy field and their energy field kind of mix up a little bit. So if you ever get a massage from someone who's in a bad mood, their bad mood might actually be absorbed by your tissues. The energy that they're carrying can really transfer. So the same thing applies when you're giving a yoga adjustment. If you're going to give a yoga adjustment as a yoga teacher, first of all, you have to make sure that you're in a good mood, right? And in general, if you're going to teach a class, you want to make sure you're in a good mood and center yourself before you even teach a class in general, right? So especially if you're going to actually, come into someone's energy field, it's important to, make sure that your intention is very clear and that your energy is clean, So people are very sensitive to being touched. And there are all kinds of other issues too. Like there's people who have had trauma, and they have a very, we talk about a pain body. Like they have a big resistance to physical touch, or they've had trauma or abuse or something like that. So some people say that you really need to be careful, like better to not touch, or make sure you ask their permission before you touch them.
Palms up and palms down thing is a really nice way to get a very clear sign whether they want that or not. The other thing, I don't know if you noticed me doing this, but when I go to each person, I try and kind of resolve the energy before I go to someone else. So I tend to kind of rub my wrists together. Someone had told me that that's a really nice way to kind of release that energy. Yeah, kind of shake it out, and then I go to the next person because I don't want to carry that from one person to another.
Yeah, taking one person's energy into another person's, right? With respect to trauma sensitivity, you can sort of, some people I've heard, before the class, they'll say something like, hey, I'm going to teach you guys yoga. I'm a massage therapist. I'm a really touchy-feely type of teacher. Is everyone okay with that? Let me know if you don't want me to give you any adjustments, or this class, I'm going to share with you guys a lot of adjustments. You give people that warning or give them that option. If you don't want any adjustments, maybe you don't make it a public scene. So before class, everyone raise your hand if you don't want adjustments. And you're like, oh, who doesn't like adjustments, So when they're in child's pose or something, you can say, give me a thumbs up or turn your palms down or up if you want adjustments or you don't, right? So you ask for consent. But otherwise, though, if you have the right healing intention and your own energy is very steady and you don't have any funky sexual energy, then and you're not always adjusting the hot girl in the room or whatever it is, right? It doesn't, then there won't be any of those problems. So if you, as a teacher, have a very, how do you say it, neutral, asexual and mellow kind of energy, then I've never had any complaints, let's just say. So it's just about how you carry yourself, and the type of adjustment that you give has to be very specific and useful. Because sometimes, like if someone's laying there and you just kind of like walk up and brush their thighs or something like that, you know, that's not an adjustment. You know, that this is just feeling someone's thighs. It doesn't give them any particular thing. It would make sense if you placed your hands on a specific place, push down, and then took your hands off. Right? Or like we did like a little bit of kind of like walking up, but it wasn't like gropey or like slidey. Right? The other thing about giving adjustments is that you have to be careful not to push anyone further than they actually want to go. Right? So with respect, like in the context of this classical yogic tradition, we're not really too obsessed with what the body looks like anyway. It's more about how they feel in their body, how their breath is moving in the asana, how their mind is relaxing in the asana. So it's not really that necessary to adjust people to get them into the ideal position. The best times to adjust people is if they're in an unsafe position, or if it really looks like they're ready to go a little bit deeper. They look like they're really there to, go deeper, or you have that reputation for getting people into deeper poses, then that can be your approach. But usually if someone is, if someone's in a pose, you can do a very light kind of thing, like just kind of say, okay, this shoulder, turn it a little bit further. You can touch their head and ask them to turn a little bit deeper. It shouldn't be anything too dramatic. You don't need to get in there and kind of like really feel up their whole body and do all these things. Very specific touch. Okay? So let's talk about some poses where you might receive adjustments.